Have anyone given you a Nigerian name yet?
I'm waiting for the Nigerian passport.
What Spanish name would you give? Because I know you speak Spanish.
Yes,
French.
I do. Sí que hablo español, por supuesto. Porque he vivido allí para un tiempo, por eso.
What would you rather? If you could choose to go everywhere in the world, would you rather just fly?
Flying is quicker, but walking would be the best.
Being a model would mean your diet wouldn't be the regular.
I'm not your typical Nigerian and I don't eat meat. Straight away, there's a problem. It's like, what? You don't eat meat? What is wrong with you?
Now, I was going to ask you, what changed since you got famous?
I don't know what that means to get famous, because I don't think people get famous like that. Nothing changed. One of my first movies, it was a movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and that was like in 2000. The movie comes out, and then you're back to zero. I'm like, shit, that's how it works? And then the second one is another one that's even bigger.
Would you consider being in politics? What does it take to get celebrities to talk? I can tell you for free. Get VJ Adams to sit with them and chat. And that's quite compelling, knowing fully well that this is perhaps the first time you will see a host of this capacity, thank you very much, chat with celebrities with no cue cards, no teleprompters, no notepads, absolutely nothing, because I'm that much of a genius. I am VJ Adams, and this is Off the Top.
Today's guest is a Hollywood actor, model, and philanthropist. You may have seen him on your screens on major projects like Heroes, Fat Girls, The Gray Man, Citation, and many other Hollywood and Nollywood blockbusters. But how much do you really know about him? On today's show, I play a friendly game with Jimmy and have conversations that peel back the layers and help us all really get to meet the man, the myth, the legend, Jimmy John Lou.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, ça va?
Ça va bien. Je m'appelle VJ Adams. Je suis magnifique télévision compère. That's
Magnifique.
that's in my French ends.
That's it? I was waiting for you.
No, that's the end there.
but that's good.
But it was good.
It was good.
I learned that.
understood.
You understood at
That's
least.
what matters.
That's good to see you. Thank you for
man.
being here.
Yeah.
What's your preference for games? What kind of games do you like to play?
I actually like all kind of games, but ping pong definitely one of my favorites. And yeah,
Snooker?
Yeah, I can.
I mean,
some of that,
I'm not gonna take it easy. You know what I'm saying? Let's just put that out there. You get me?
Oh, listen, man. When I play. I'm very competitive.
Let's go. Let's go. Here we go.
So what
are we
doing? This?
This, yes.
All right.
We could do this. Would be nice. Oh boy. You're a pro at this, so I'm not. I was joking.
Okay. So whoever set this up messed it up.
Already?
The number 8 has to be in the middle, right here.
Gotcha.
Here we go.
There you go. So I'll break.
Yeah. A bit too close, my friend.
Right. Have anyone given you a Nigerian name yet?
I'm waiting for the Nigerian passport.
And not just the name.
Apparently, I deserve one by now.
I know.
What name will you give me?
I think I'll call you Oluwafemi.
Oluwafemi. Okay.
It means God loves me.
All right. Olu. Yeah, I can.
Oluwa, God loves me. You can work with
Okay.
that.
All right. I can work with that. All right.
What Spanish name would you give? Because I know you speak Spanish.
Yes,
French.
I do. Sí que hablo español, por supuesto. Porque he vivido allí para un tiempo, por eso.
What was that thing you just said?
I said, yes, I do speak Spanish because I lived there for a few years.
I know.
That's why, yeah.
That's a weak break.
That was very weak, man.
I know.
I'm sorry, but with all the fufu that you eat, with all the plantain, that's what you get?
We'll work with that. We'll work with that. Oh boy. Haven't speaking French.
Yeah,
Spanish.
well, French, all of them sort of make sense. You know, I speak Creole because I grew up in Haiti. Then I moved to Paris, so French.
That's right.
Then I did musical theater in Spain for a few years, Spanish. Then I did some modeling in Italy, Italian. And English, I just picked it up along the way, really.
My God.
Funny enough, English was my last language that I learned.
No way. Oh, there you go. What would be the easiest one to learn? What was the easiest one to learn?
The easiest one to learn, English.
Really?
Yeah, it's just simple, I think. You know, I know, you know, he know. It's like just simple. In French, every single, you know, it's je suis, tu es, il. Everything is different, and it's just a bit more complex, I think.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
But going to Paris for the first time, was there like a cultural shock for you? Because I mean, from Haiti to Paris?
Yeah, of course. I mean, keep in mind that I came from a very underprivileged neighborhood in Haiti. So when I went to Paris, I didn't even know that I was traveling. Because my parents, you know, Haiti has a strong African identity. You know, the culture, the traditions, everything is pretty the same. So they didn't want to tell anyone that I was leaving. They didn't want to tell me that I was leaving. Just for superstitions, you know, they didn't know what would happen. So it's only the night before that I knew that I was going somewhere. And then next thing I was on a plane. So yes, it was a shock when I got to Paris because everything was different, you know, tall buildings, white people everywhere. And here I am as a kid just trying to understand that new place, you know, so, you know.
What's your preference? Do you like city more or do you like safari for relaxation?
Well, unfortunately, we don't have too many safaris in the States. But I like nature. I like nature, to put it that way. I like the natural elements, you know, the water, the beach, the mountain, trees, stuff like that. But at the same time, I cannot do without the people. You know, so that's why a good city for me is very appealing. New York is very appealing. Paris, London, Lagos is very appealing.
Very appealing.
But from time to time, you need to have a break.
True.
You know, just breathe out. So that's where I'll go to the mountain or to a nice, quiet, peaceful beach.
I see that you already had one ball in.
Yeah, but I don't know which one went in.
It's this one. This.
Okay. So let me
see if we can get another one. We still have a lot to unpack. But,
yeah, it's a bit weird. So I'm gonna have to go for this one.
Let's see.
Yep.
This was a setup. This was a setup. I made a mistake. I should have chosen FIFA.
You should have, man. I said I was quite competitive, so.
Oh my! Should have chosen FIFA.
I'm gonna have to try to go with a double over there. There's the 1 and the, what's that? The 3?
Yes. Oh man. Oh, you know what? Let's go upstairs. We're done here. We're done here. We need to go sit down. I'm not doing this. Not doing this anymore.
I just got lucky. Let's put it that way.
What? Whenever you're in Lagos, what does this city remind you of?
In a funny way, it reminds me of New York, and it's almost like being in New York, but on crack.
Right.
Different, you know. Almost as much noise, if not more. Maybe not as many buildings, but you know, you get it, and just full of people everywhere.
I know, full of people everywhere. Yeah. And for you, modeling came before acting.
Yes. Yes and no, because you know, when I was a lot younger in Paris, I tried to get into acting, which was very hard. A black guy in Paris, and then I actually did musical theater, and I guess in musical theater there's a little bit of acting. So I did that for a few years, and then I modeled for many years, and then I went back to proper acting.
Proper acting.
Yeah.
And at what point did you get that sense of responsibility that acting, it is now, it's going to take over every other thing?
It's a couple of things, you know. At one point, I was in South Africa, and I had the honor to meet Nelson Mandela, and he sort of installed in me like something very strong, like the fact that I could potentially matter, and it was up to me.
Right.
And I went with that and continued my path, went to London, continued to model. But after a while, I kept thinking about that little meeting that I had with him. And I said to myself, if I really want to have a voice, I'm not gonna have it from just being a model. I'm gonna have to do something where I can actually speak up. And that's when the idea of acting came to me. And of course, I didn't have any way in, but at least I knew how to behave in front of cameras. Since I've done modeling, commercials, musical theater and all these things, I'm like, at least I have some kind of experience that can get me started. And that's really, how I ended up going to the States. And I was sponsored by a modeling agency. And I said yes to it, even though I knew that once I get there, I will try to act. And that's how I got to the States.
Tell me about your first audition. How was it?
I still remember it, and I can tell you what it was for. One of the first one, I think it was the first one, it was for a movie called How Still I Got a Groove Back with Angela Bassett, where they were looking for that young guy from Jamaica. Tay Diggs ended up doing the gig. But somehow they were interested in me because obviously I probably had the kind of look they were looking for. But I was completely petrified because, I didn't do anything special before that. And just before the audition, I did something very silly. I was so petrified that I had a couple of drinks.
And that probably made it worse.
That made it worse.
I know.
That made it worse, but listen, it's one of those things I can laugh about now. But yeah, when you step into a big arena like that, sometimes you just don't know how to be. And because you don't have the right support system around you, you don't have any friends, family members who have been there, who can tell you how to do, you're just by yourself.
I know.
It's like, okay, figure it out. So yes, I fell, but I was able to get back up and I kept on trying until something came. And by then, I sort of knew how
you're
to
ready.
Yeah.
You're ready. Absolutely.
But it was all a learning process. There's nothing wrong with that,
True.
I think it's very important to fall. Falling is good.
True.
Now you have to be able to come back up.
True. Fall forward and come back up. I know you like football as well.
Yeah, indeed.
Tell me about your love for football. Who would you say, what made you that excited about football? Because not only on the pitch, I see you do some behind the scenes into football as well for you.
Well, I'm from Haiti. And Haiti, at the time, and until now, it's still a very poor country. And I came from a very, very underprivileged family, meaning by that we had pretty much nothing. When you come from that kind of family, the only thing you can do is create a ball out of nothing. And that's how kids used to play. So that's the only sport I knew as a kid.
Right.
And most of the kids from the neighborhood got good at it. So I was pretty good. So by the time I moved to France, I actually impressed all the people in my neighborhood. So I ended up in a nice little club to the point where when I was about 14 or 15, there was a scout from PSG that came around, and I was one of the 2 players that they picked for a trial.
Wow.
And once again, because I didn't have the right support system, I didn't go. People around me didn't know what that meant. So the love for the game was always there, and I've always played. But with the right people around me, maybe I would have ended up
being a
professional
football star. Are you a Messi or Ronaldo person? What's your debate?
It's a debate. I'd say I'm a Pelé person. Yeah, let's keep it to Pelé.
What? What
And I'm
is-
sure some people, new generation, who's that?
That's why I laughed. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, they'll have to go research. They'll look
Yeah,
for
they'll research Pele. But I mean, I enjoy both players. Don't get me wrong. But you know, before you get to them, I think nowadays the marketing system is so huge that they really get everybody to concentrate in one or two players. But really, you have some wonderful players around. And yes, I'll say Pele because for me is the original. But along the way come Ronaldinho, come Ronaldo, the original Ronaldo.
That's right.
And then, of course, those two players that we're talking
What team
about.
do you support? Do you support a football team?
When I was in England, because football is so strong there, I had to pick a team, and I picked Arsenal.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So technically you're an Arsenal fan.
I'm not a die-hard fan, because, you know, I'm not one of those who's going to call it my team. You know, it's their team. If they're making money, I can watch them, you know. I'm not going to say, we're going to win. No, they're going to win.
Well, they're going to win. Well, you had the time you would watch.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Tell me about the first time you met Kunle Afolayan, because I know you have a great working relationship with
Yeah.
him, being on Citation. And how was it meeting him and then working? And how was that like working on a Nigerian movie set
Yeah.
for the first time?
We first met with Kunle in LA, actually, and that's a long time ago. I believe it might have been 2007.
Wow.
He was a youngster, just exploring the movie cinema, and you know, he went to one of those festivals in Los Angeles called the Pan-African Film Festival, and I believe that's the first time we met. We connected, and then we kept a relationship. I've been coming here since 2006, ever since Fat Girls premiered here. And since then, I tried to come maybe at least once a year.
Right.
And I've always kept in touch with Kunle. And we always knew that we'll end up doing things together. So the first gig was, I believe it was CEO. You know, I was in LA and he said, you know, it's not a big role, but if you want, just come and play. I said, yeah, why not?
Right.
And we did that, and then we continued with Citation.
Citation is pretty good.
Yeah, thank you. And
Pretty
then
good.
we continued with the third one that's coming out soon. Yeah.
What would be, because you've even
But to
started.
elaborate a little bit more on Kunle,
Right.
I think he's one of those directors who had a great vision from the very get-go, you know, and that's why he explored cinema quite a bit, you know, not just here in Nigeria, but outside of Nigeria, across the world, before he comes back and realize that, you know what, he needs to be here and be relevant here, and he has great visions, and he's executing them as well as we're speaking.
What's your music preference? What do you listen to?
As I lived in so many parts of the world, my ears can accept all kind of music, to be honest with you. My original beat would be the Caribbean beat, you know.
Gotcha.
You have compa, you have zouk, and then, you know, come the African beat, whether it's from West Africa, coupé décalé, the French-speaking part, and then of course you have the Nigerian who came like crazy, studying by Fela Kuti, and then all that new generation of artists, you know, whether it's Wizkid, Davido, Burna Boy, and all those guys, and now you have the young girls, you know, Ayra Starr and
That's right.
and Thames. Actually, I just saw Thames at Coachella.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
about a month and a half ago. She was brilliant.
Awesome.
Yeah, she was majestic, you know, and. But yeah, so yeah.
If I open up your phone, what would be the last song you listened to?
Coming here,
Yes.
It was Fela
Okay.
and Davido.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. I'll ask you about food after this. Welcome back to the show. This is Off the Top on BT. I'm chatting with Jimmy. Being a model would mean, I'm guessing your diet wouldn't be the regular diet. You wouldn't eat what everyone else eats because you need to stay in shape, correct?
Yeah, you can say that it's a mixture of.
Yeah, so how did you balance the...
Well, it's eating for me, the right amount of food and also make sure that I do enough exercise, whether it's mentally but also physically. Uh, so yeah, as far as the food is concerned, I'm not your typical Nigerian and I don't eat meat. Straight away, there's a problem. It's like, what? You don't eat meat? What is wrong with you?
No, I was going to ask you. No, I was coming there. Like, oh, you don't eat meat. What?
So, but it's something, I've stopped eating meat like a long time ago, about maybe 30 years ago. And it's just out of the blue, really. I was having that beautiful conversation with someone who's vegetarian and, telling me about, what meat might do to your system on the long run. I listened without really paying too much attention. And then that same day I go back home, I was in Haiti that day. And the first image I see is the image of my mom grabbing a chicken and just cutting that chicken, and then you have that blood just spilling all over. I'm like, oh, is this a sign? And I'm like, you know what, let's just stop eating for a minute and see what happens.
Right.
And that was it.
That was it?
I never picked it up again. So yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I think that shows a high level of discipline as well, because you would have obviously at multiple restaurants stumble on meat, but you'd
I can be very disciplined when I know that there is something that I need to accomplish or need to do. So yeah, and don't get me wrong, meat is good. I love chicken. I used to love, all the steak and all these things, but somehow in my mind, there are a few things that made sense, and it made sense for me to stop. And that's it. At the same time, I would never try to throw that upon someone else. I believe we do what we want to do. We choose to eat what we want to eat, and it's our lives, and I respect that.
What changed since you got famous?
I don't know what that means to get famous, because I don't think people get famous like that. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. As someone who's working, you progressively adapt to your new situation.
Right.
So you don't see at what point maybe you so-called famous, because you're just doing you. And doing you means that a few more people are watching you or following you. But, within your own experience, I don't think that, for me anyway, there's no difference. I'm not one of those who from one day to the next day had a huge change of status. Mine has been gradual, so I just grew into it. So I'm aware of it, but I don't think there was a particular point. It's a bunch of projects that led to what I'm doing, to where I am now. The first gig I did that I thought was gonna take me on top was one of my first movies, and it was a movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and that was like in 2000. And then, the movie comes out, and then you're back to zero. I'm like, shit, that's how it works? And then the second one is another one that's even bigger, called Tears of the Sun with Bruce Willis. So you think like, yeah, I've made it. And then you realize like after the movie, you have to start again, all over again. It doesn't mean nothing. And then you start to get used to that. And then I did a gig with Harrison Ford and then Jennifer Lopez. And then you realize like, okay, it becomes part of it. And you're gonna have to do a lot more before you get to whatever status you think you deserve to be. So yeah, listen, there are some important projects. Let's say a project like Heroes, which was a global phenomenon.
It
yes,
was.
That gave me like worldwide visibility.
That's right.
But is it what really made me famous? It's the project that had the most visibility. But after that, it's still up to me to continue working.
That's right.
Otherwise, you just fall flat.
Absolutely.
I can name you projects that people might forget. When I came here with Fat Girls, it was the biggest thing. You know what I mean?
Indeed, we had Two-Face, do the soundtrack as well for African
Completely.
Queen. So,
but after a few years, all those projects start to disappear. So it's up to you to always keep it up.
Always keeping it up. And I think also just because you've had a great taste of everything, you've had not having anything, having, So you understand, you're self-aware
Yeah.
of every point in your life. And I think that's just quite remarkable. For any young actor, because I was having that conversation earlier with a friend of mine, for any young actor in 2024, how do you navigate the waters to, what do you even do?
Yeah.
You're just one actor, what do you do?
Yeah, it's difficult, I must say, because you're being influenced by so much, and you think that everything is right there, you can just grab it, and that's what you want to do, and you don't want to necessarily do the work. One thing I would say, and it's one of the things I often say, let's look at ourselves as being a tree. A tree grows both sides, at the bottom where you get the roots, and then on top where you shine. So for anyone who wants to shine, you have to have some roots first.
True.
Otherwise, you're just gonna be up there and you can be slapped anytime and disappear. But if you have strong roots, then you can lose a branch, but it will go back.
You will indeed grow back.
So that's what I would say to a youngster. Just make sure that you grounded and you do the work first, because nobody can take that away from you.
Absolutely. One thing you're very passionate about as well is just being a philanthropist, and you do so much in that area quietly, publicly. You're constantly there.
Yeah.
I would say obviously because you've told your stories not having. Was that the spur to give back constantly?
Yeah. It's part of it. It's just being real with the world and with my situation. For example, if I live in Hollywood and I have access to so much, and then I go back to Haiti and I see even some of my family members, almost begging, you're like, okay, shit, maybe there's something I should try to do there. So I'm tempted to say yes, almost automatically. And also when you're playing the Haitian on the biggest TV show, Heroes, you're like, I'm gonna have to do something.
That's right.
So yeah, I think it's all of that sort of inspired me to be as active as I can be in the humanitarian world, and I did start my non-profit organization back in 2008 called Hollywood Unites for Haiti.
Yes, sir.
And but after that, I've done tons of
Absolutely.
work, when it comes to whether it's immigration problems within the world, not just in the States, because when we speak about migration or immigration, we forget that we're living in a society where there is a constant flow of human. We're always moving around. We always have a group of people going somewhere else for a better life, but we get to forget after a while that that's what they did. So it's important to remind people that that push to go somewhere else in search of a better life is something that's natural and normal for all. So don't look bad at someone just because they're going somewhere else to try to better themselves. You know what I mean? So yeah.
How did you propose?
To whom? To what? To my life? To the world? Come on now, be direct.
I was your wife. How did that happen? When did you meet her? Tell me, come on.
Well, we went straight to it, huh? I guess that's a big subject matter for here. People like to know about.
No, just generally, because knowing fully well how busy you can be.
Yeah.
It'd just be nice to just have a taste of the other side of.
Yeah. No, listen. I got married I'm not gonna say pretty early on, but in 2000 in 2000. So that's before doing all those gigs.
Right.
So everything went very smoothly without.
Beautiful.
Actually very quietly, to be honest with you.
Beautiful.
Just did a very small thing in Vegas.
Beautiful.
Believe it or not.
Beautiful. No, it's good to know that.
And I was broke. So there was, there was nothing. I didn't have a ceremony. And I'm fine with it.
But what gave you, at what point were you certain you were ready to do this? What gave you that inclination?
You just know, if you listen to yourself, I think we have to understand that even though we live with a lot of people, but we have to understand that we are our own self, and we are individuals. So if we can listen to what we want, what we feel, you always know what to do and when to do it, without necessarily being influenced by society or people around you or family. So if you really stay real to who you are, you have answers to pretty much most problems. So I knew that I was ready, so I didn't have to wait for someone to let me know that I was ready.
You're ready. I can imagine.
Yeah.
If you could cast 3 lead actors for a heist story, who are you picking?
Ouch. For high story. I mean, I don't know. Really, it's a hard one. We'll have to be a bit more precise with because you have so many actors all over the world.
I know. I mean, okay. Let me put it together. Let me say, play 2 females, 1 male. Pick randomly, maybe from anyone you've worked with in the past you think would fit.
2 females, 1 male. 2 females, 1 male. Wow. I mean, one of them has to be able to seduce some people. That's your way in. That's what opens the door.
Because I had to get to your producer, United States.
So you get J-Lo. Yeah.
Okay.
J-Lo might be able to open a few doors. One that's very smart, at least play smart, because, it's not because they play smart that they're smart.
That's right.
That's a reality. And a male. I mean, it's difficult to. The thing is, when you give name, you eliminate everybody else. So it's very hard for me to come up with names.
You've enjoyed on screen being model actor, but you also do a lot from a producer standpoint.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy that as well, as much as you do on screen?
Yeah, I do actually. It's something that also came naturally because you have a level of connections. And as far as I'm concerned, because I live in the States and I've been exploring a lot of Africa, not just Nigeria, but South Africa, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Morocco, I mean, many parts of Africa. And I grew up in France, so I have relationship with Europe, whether it's France, England, Germany, Italy, Spain. I'm from the Caribbean, so there's a level of connections in many parts of the world. So it's very easy to just put people together, start a project and see who might be able to come on board and who might be able to come up with the money, what actor might be good for that, what location might be good.
That's right.
If it's a low budget, what location might be appropriate for it. So yeah, I think I have a general knowledge of what's going on in the film business across the world. So that's why I can use that as a producer.
That's right.
I can link up things, link up people.
That's right.
But I do enjoy performing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're quite incredible at it. How would you define love? What does love mean to you?
Love. Love is I think to be once again in tune with the self. It's the self, number one. You have to be able to love yourself completely.
Absolutely.
By loving yourself, you'll be able to eventually open it up to other people. And you find love in many ways, it's being here, this is love, what we're doing here, because there's a level of passion that's attached to it. It's not forced, it's what we want to do, and we're doing it with open heart. Coming to Nigeria for me is love, because I reconnect with a level of ancestry that that I know I've been missing. So every time I come, it's like I find that again, and then we can go to the most basic knowledge of love, meaning by that a relationship with a girl. You can share some of as far as relationship, it's loving someone the way they are, not the way you want them to be, and don't try to change them, The first day that you love that person, let that continue to love that person for everything else. I think what we have the tendency of getting into a relationship and then wanting that person to change.
Right.
Because we want that person to fit some of the thing that we like. But let the person be themselves, and be in acceptance of it completely.
Be in acceptance of it completely, indeed.
Yeah.
You're a very busy man. What would you say is your favorite household chore? If you could do anything in the house for work, would you like to lay your bed? Do you like to?
I like to do dishes.
You like to do dishes?
Yeah. It's a way of meditating, I think. I think maybe it's the connection with the water.
Right.
And you're cleaning. Yeah, I like that for some reason. I'll just wash things.
What's your favorite travel medium? Air, water, train? Or would you rather, if you could choose to go everywhere in the world, would you rather just fly, or
Flying is quicker, but I like to be out and about.
Right.
Walking would be the best. Walking would be the best, but everything else, I'll accept the rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll come back with more after this. Don't move.
I was giving you the weirdest answer.
Welcome back to the show. This is Off the Top. I'm chatting with a man who is not only a philanthropist, an actor, model, father, and just a fun, great guy indeed. Very disciplined man. For leadership, which is a great part of who we are as a people, I think is important to speak about it and give perspective.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say? First, would you consider being in politics? Would you run for office?
I've been asked that question many times, actually, in a very serious way. I think we all have some kind of duty to do what we feel is right, and I think it would be a question of timing and whatever space in which I am, but I wouldn't disregard anything like that because, as you said, we're all leaders somehow, and sometimes you just have to take the responsibility of it and lead. So now, no, because there are certain things that I'm more passionate about that I'm doing. But I guess in life you get to different kind of cycle where some things become a bit more evident and more obvious to do. And if I cross there, then I'll know. But yeah, it is something that's been lurking around me for the past 10 or 15 years. And also it's because I came from a place where there is such a lack of leadership that I can understand why that question will come back constantly. And I've played a couple of very important characters that showcase that, one of them being Toussaint Louverture, and he's the man who gave Haiti its independence. Back in 1804, Haiti being the first Black republic to fight and win their independence against Napoleon Bonaparte, which led the entire liberation of the Caribbean and South America. So without Haiti, a third of America would still speak French and would still be French. And it's because of the Haitian Revolution that we had that Louisiana Purchase. So Haiti is very important, and as I said, I played that character, and when you play a character like that, you do tons of research, and
That's right.
and you educate yourself. And just a few days ago, I just finished another movie. Might be the first time I talk about that, because we've not had a release yet, where I played the president who got assassinated in 2021. You might have seen some images, when we had like 25 Colombians who went to Haiti and they just gunned him down, touched his wife, but she wasn't killed. But we did a movie about that. So that's coming sometimes the end of the year or next year.
You heard it first here.
Yes, indeed. It depends on when you air, though.
I'll make sure we air this quicker. So, if you could ask me any question, what would you ask me if I was on your show?
I don't have a show, so...
Would you like to have a show, though? Would you consider having a show?
I would consider having a show. Why not? I have a lot to talk about. I'm very curious as a person as well. If I had a question, I don't have a question for you, but let me think about it and maybe I'll come up with one.
Oh boy, let's talk about going forward. You've had tremendous success, no doubt about it. But I believe that there is always something bigger to look forward to, every point in time, and just what your passion draws you towards. What's taking your focus right now?
Right now, I'm finishing a book that I've been writing for the past year. So that's what's really keeping me extremely focused. It's coming out in October. And I just want to be sure that I have the right elements in it. And yeah, so that's something that's very personal, extremely personal. Otherwise, in a more larger sense, it's continuing that exploration of collaboration with the African cinema, continue to connect the dots and continuing to be part of what's going on here, because I do believe that there is a bright future for African cinema, and I'd like to be part of that. I'd like to continue to be part of that. So yeah, I think that's very important as well moving forward, because we matter, our stories matter, and at one point things will shift, and I'd love to see that. I'd love to see the shift of Africa, how people view Africa, how well Africa can do. Let's Africa use its full potential, because we know Africa has the most potential out of any other continent. So, let's give that potential back into the hands of the Africans. And I'd like to witness as much of that as possible. It might not be really during my lifetime, but I think I can witness some of it. And I appreciate what's going on right now with the neighborhood countries, talking about Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, that surge to defy their oppressors, because that's what they are.
That's right.
And yeah, so let's see how that continues. I'm having a good time witnessing that, to be honest with you.
Incredible. When the book is out, I hope I get one signed.
Yes, indeed. I will make sure that I send one for every single person here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What would you want to be remembered for?
I don't know. I still have quite a bit of life to live. So I want to continue to look forward and not backwards. So, I think the best is coming, and the legacy will be what it is, and I'll always try to do the best that I can. For me, number one, I truly believe in that. And if it spills out to the rest of the world, let it be. But I believe, everything that became huge was very personal at first.
Absolutely. Jimmy, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Great pleasure for being on the show. I am VJ Adams. You've been watching Off the Top on BET. I'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye.